It's time for weekend movie reviews.
So, I watched Morbius, and I don't get why the critics hate it. It's not the worst thing in the world, it's not shit. Having said that, would I recommend you go out of your way to watch Morbius? No. If you're stuck on an airplane, and it's like, you have nothing better to do, you could watch this and go, oh, it's fine. So I don't understand why critics don't like this movie. It's like basic superhero movie shit, but this got, what, 16% on Rotten Tomatoes, 35% at Metacritic. Why is that? I agree more with the user scores here. It's like, what, the 64%, 70-something percent? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is Future Weekend. This is bullshit. I hate it when I rewatched it.
This film, actually, reminds me of Captain America. And when I break down the plot, you'll get it. Analyzing every Marvel-related thing I have watched, I still hate Captain Marvel more. Captain Marvel, Black Widow, Black Panther. Cause I'm a sexist, racist, that's why.
So this video is going to be split into two parts. The first part is just me talking about Morbius, what I think about it. The second part is the interesting phenomenon of Morbius posting, where it seems like people have memed interest to Morbius, so that people are actually watching it.
Before we get into that, I'd like to thank this video sponsor, Exter.
Exter is a company that specializes in making wallets, with a philosophy of making it sustainable. I used these products for a week to try them out, and I gotta say, I like it.
I got this modular bifold, which is a fancy way of saying it's a customizable wallet. Why is it customizable? Well, if you can see here, you can take that out, resulting in a thinner wallet. Obviously, I mean, the wallet doesn't feel thick when I used it, and it's not thick in my pants. That sounded weird, like, but it was fine. It was fine. I also got this thing. What is it? It's a tracker ID. It's a tracker card for your wallet. So what, you could just slip it in your wallet. Cool thing about it, there's a back section here. You can just like pop it in there. And if you're lost, you can just find it with a tracker card. I have not tested this in the wild yet. I don't want to. Okay, I'm just gonna throw my wallet middle of nowhere and I'm gonna use the app. No, I'm gonna test it at home. There's gonna be a cut here where I demonstrate the thing. Cut.
Okay guys, this is the cool thing about it. Like, you see the card is here. So what you could do is you could just press this. You can find your phone. You could also do it the other way around. So what you do is, you press the app. Then, once you've done that, you could just press the green button here. So that's pretty cool. My only comment is that it's like, what, I guess the volume of the thing might be too low. But aside from that, I think it does its job well. In fact, I think you could put this into other devices, not just the wallet. But as long as you could hear it, it's fine. I think if ever I have a comment, it would be like, how can I adjust the volume? I'm not really clear if you could do that with a device, or it's just stuck to that volume. Also, do you see this? This is a solar panel. This thing can be charged with the power of the sun. That's pretty neat. That's putting the sustainability aspect of their whole philosophy in this thing. That's pretty cool.
How amazing was that, guys? There is a Father's Day sale right now on the website. If you want to check that out, there's an affiliate link listed below. I get a commission if you check out through the link, but I think it's the perfect time to check this product out, guys, since there is a sale. But if you don't want to, that's fine too. I know why you're here. It's Morbin time!
The basic story of Morbius isn't bad. Like, if this was an outline, I put an outline to Morbius. The story beats are not bad. It's just that the way they execute it is not so great. Basically, it's a superhero origin story. And it wasn't just any superhero origin story. It really reminded me of the Captain America movie.
So how are these movies similar? Well, in the first Captain America, right, Steve was discovered in the North or South Pole, then we flash back to how he got there, which is basically the whole movie.
We get 30 minutes of Steve Rogers desperately trying to be a soldier despite his medical condition, showing us that he has the makings of a hero. It's all about building the character. While he does take the serum, he becomes this super soldier. He does not become a warrior. Captain America is relegated to becoming a goddamn mascot. We get a call to action from Peggy, who spurns Captain America to try and save Bucky, along with other soldiers in this camp.
While we don't see a lot of Bucky, like not like what 15-20 minutes of Buckster, I think the movie had enough screen time for Bucky to establish that bond between him and Steve.
You know what you're doing? Yeah. I've knocked that Adolf Hitler over 200 times.
There he becomes Captain America. In a callback to an earlier scene when he was still a mascot, he becomes the hero he actually is. Not only was he recognized by the scientists, by Peggy, but now the army, the whole world, knows what he's capable of.
Then we get the wacky woohoo Nazi adventures. Then Bucky dies. At least Steve thinks he dies. And then we get to the final confrontation. This is around, 2 hours. In the beginning of Morbius, we are in the middle of the jungle, in the present day.
Morbius needs the vampire bats for some reason.
He needs some milk!
Then we get a flashback to his childhood, where his friendship with some kid named Milo, actually Lucian, is established. You get that he's a good guy even though he has a rough exterior, and he's very smart enough that he's sent to New York. After he gets to New York, we have a flash forward where he is being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize for making artificial blood, which you would think is a big deal, but they show it off screen. So this is the part that fucks with me in this whole thing, because when we cut from the jungle, I thought that was an in media res, or in medias res type of flashback. You know the meme where you go, hey, how did it get to this moment? I thought it was gonna be that type of flashback. So when we cut from young Morbius to the present, I thought we were gonna see some development on his end. Like, what did he actually make as a scientist that led him to being in the jungle? No, that's not the case. The film exposits it. Because, they say that the artificial blood has helped millions of lives. It's one thing to say it, it's another thing if we go through the journey with the protagonist. I think Captain America did that better also.
Get away!
Another thing that fucks with me is that they actually leave out the part where Morbius escapes the jungle. This gigafucked scene where his bats are surrounding him, the helicopter is getting ass-rammed by bats. And we just don't see that scene where he leaves, or how could he actually leave the situation? Because he has his hand out, right, with blood. I think he's fucked. I think his hand and his blood will get eaten by these weird-ass bats. How does the movie resolve this? It just goes, don't think about it. Because the scene with the awards and whatnot comes after the jungle episode. Because Lady Doctor finds out the bats in his lab, meaning he escaped. And this next rant is a nitpick, I acknowledge that. But Morbius dressed up to go to Switzerland to get the Nobel Peace Prize. Just to say no. Okay guys, think about this. Instead of just not accepting the award outright, not having to go through all this rigmarole in Scandinavia and focus his remaining time on Earth to find a cure for his condition, this terminally ill person goes out of his way to waste time. All this important character building, relationship establishing things happen in the span of 5 minutes.
It's like breakneck speed.
I know that the Cap-Bucky relationship building thing is about a few minutes also, but there is a relationship between Morbius and Milo, right? Friendship that is supposed to be a tight friendship. The audience sees even less than what we see of Cap and Bucky. I guess Morbius does the job better of establishing a friendship than The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Remember that time we were best buddies? Yep. Okay, you were friends as kids, guys. Like, come on. I got high school friends that I was good friends with at the time, but we don't talk to each other anymore now. Like, this is not really that believable. There's a problem for me, because the core conflict of the movie is between Morbius and Milo having a difference in the application and use of their vampire powers. So I don't really get that sense of tragedy that's happening between friends. Like, it's supposed to be this deep friendship. They're walking in New York, talking about their crushes, la 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 la, whatever, bro. It's a nothing burger of emotion. Also, the lead up to their actual fight is some bullshit, and we'll get to that when we get to that. Speaking of fake, unbelievable relationships, the chemistry between Morbius and Lady Doctor is -0. They have no chemistry. Fucking nothing. That's why they exposit so hard in this scene. It's, like I mentioned this earlier, but you gotta listen to it.
How's Martine doing these days?
Dr. Bancroft, she is overqualified, outperforming, brilliant as usual.
Just don't do something stupid and go and fall in love, because believe you me, there's absolutely no cure for that.
Says the guy who knows absolutely nothing about the subject.
How about this romantic sequence, guys?
Coffee?
No thanks, I quit caffeine.
Let's decaf.
Not that kind of vampire.
Just checking.
Oh, she smiled like he farted and said an awkward joke after. Wow, that's amazing. So this is the part where the main plot begins. Morbius's experiments have paid off, so he does it to himself now. And as the memes go, this is where Morbin comes from, I think. Morbius goes out of control as it's his first transformation, and he becomes feral and goes on a frenzy. Hence the term Morbin. I'm gonna morb. And these people are getting morbed. It's such a versatile word. Lady Doctor gets injured, he makes sure she's fine. Then we go through the motions of a superhero movie where the protagonist learns about his powers.
As a result of my procedure, I have an overpowering urge to consume.
He exposits on it. And it makes sense with his previous characterization because he records things that he experiments on. It's like the only time, one of the only times in the movie that I actually gave exposition a pass. Yes, guys, this thing has so much exposition. From birth.
How long have you been here?
As long as I can remember.
And you're still not cured?
There's no cure. There's something missing from our DNA.
To death.
What is that?
This is an antibody. It inhibits ferritin, deadly to bats.
Morbius cannot shut the fuck up. Then we get the friend betrayal scene because Morbius locked himself in a room with no blood. It's awfully convenient that his friend dropped by to check up on him, or else he would have died inside the room. That I think that would be funny, like in some alternate timeline, he's just dead.
Michael, enough. Just give it to me. I need it. I can't live like this any longer. Please.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I killed people.
We can make that go away. The ones on the boat, they're thugs, guns for hire. I can make that go away.
You don't understand.
I do understand. Please, have I ever denied you anything? Have I ever said no? Have I always given you the money?
I can't control it!
What, so you get to live and I get to die? Is that it?
This is a well-acted scene if I'm being honest, but I feel nothing since the emotional moment is unearned. This would have been fine if you set up the friendship in a stronger way. The basis of their friendship is exposition. And he's barely in this movie. After this, he takes over as the villain. But before that, he's a... Now you're expecting me to give a shit? Okay, movie. Whatever. This is the thing they did again, because Morbius got his vampire powers by an injection in the spine. How did this fucker do this on his own? Actually, also, when you think about it some more, how did he know that the injection was supposed to be administered via the spine also? Like, what the fuck? I thought it was the doctor from the orphanage that assisted him, but it doesn't turn out to be that case. Because when he finds out that Milo is a vampire, he freaks out.
What have you done to yourself?
That means he doesn't know that Milo became a vampire. This whole thing is silly.
Hello?
So this nurse gets morbed. It's obviously not Morbius. He's the hero. So it's obviously the 11th Doctor that did it. Morbius gets framed for it, yada yada. He gets out of prison, they fight, he gets floaty powers. This is just silly. I mean... Oh, he's flying underneath the subway system of New York City! How majestic! So the next part is basically leading up to the final act of the movie, and what the final act it is, guys. Lady Doctor and Morbius consolidate their resources, if you get what I mean, bruv. And the incel vampire doesn't like it. I have some advice for you, bruh. Have sex! Doctor Man finds out that Milo am bad and goes, "No, don't bad." Then he dies. And then you think he dies, though. He should be dead, Jesus Christ. I've shown you this scene. Lady Doc and Morb find the unalive cure.
Nicholas, you okay?
Michael,
We have to get you to a hospital.
you have to stop.
Do you see how stupid this is? He was alive long enough to tell Morbius in person to stop Milo, but he couldn't do that over the phone? Get the fuck out of here. Oh yeah, because of this, Morb leaves his girlfriend unguarded and incel pounces on Stacy.
Make it mean something.
Morb drinks the red blood so that his wife who sacrificed won't be in vain. This part is bullshit. Well, okay, the whole movie is bullshit. Because this is what Morbius is saying about drinking the red stuff.
Something wakes up inside of me, something primal, and it just it wants to hunt.
So the whole movie is about him not choosing to drink it, okay? So when he drinks it, I was thinking, oh, he's gonna be like Bane. He's gonna Hulk out even more and be this huge power boost. No! Instead of dominating, you know what he does? He calls some bats for backup. I am not making this shit up. They form a bat Hadouken. No, you see this, right? This is like one of those things where they were writing it and then, oh, then the bats are coming out of his hands, which is consistent with Sony, I guess. I just think a cool one-on-one vampire fight where they go full beast mode would have been more interesting than this overblown bats CGI spectacle. Michael finally kills this fuck, which has no meaning, no emotional payoff. It's a nothing burger. I cannot believe you are making me say this about Matt Smith, you fucks. He was my doctor. The 11th Doctor was the doctor that got me into Doctor Who. I kinda went, oh, who's this Doctor Who guy at the moment where 10 was ending his run? And Matt Smith was my guy, bro! And you fucked it up! And then Morbo flies off into the atmosphere. Wait, I thought he was gonna unalive himself in Minecraft after this.
Fatal to humans.
Who's the second one from?
Oh well! Let's not let any crisis go to waste, am I right, kid? And second thought, guys, I said earlier that this movie was okay, but upon rewatching it, this is so bad. There! That's how you do a flashback back to the present movie. You're welcome.
Gentlemen.
You daft prick. You fucking cunt. That's how you fucking do it, you piece of shit. To sum up, Morbius was Mr. Exposition. He's not even a hero. He's not even an anti-hero. He's this vaguely positioned vampire. Love interest is a flatline. The main villain is a little bit more sympathetic. Like, can you imagine your best friend looking like a Chad? And you're there being sickly and he says, no bro, you can't have the secret juice. What the fuck? I get mad too, but he becomes this psychopath in a blink of an eye, which is totally fucking unrealistic, and he becomes comical as a result. Another thing that I can't show because I'm afraid of what YouTube will do to me. The OST has this bombastic operatic flair to it that doesn't fit Morbius. Like, in the grand scheme of things, he's not really doing anything epic or heroic. I get this sense of unwarranted self-importance with this whole thing. So yeah, Morbius am bad. So let's talk about something more entertaining. What's more interesting about Morbius is the meme surrounding it. This movie was so nothing. People made it a joke. I think it made money, but one of the memes about it is hashtag Morbius sweep.
making $1 trillion, nay, more $1 billion. A cultural reset. Reviews pouring everywhere, singing it praises. What time is it? It's Morbin time! Go, go, Morbin Rangers. Na, 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 na. Go, go, Morbin Rangers. Is the internet not sick of this shit yet? It reached a point where people really thought Morbius said, it's Morbin time. And somehow this made Morbius the top-selling digital download on the App Store, which is where I watched it again. Thanks, Apple, I guess. Somebody said this on Twitter, I couldn't save it. It's like the internet gaslit itself to like Morbius. It's amazing that because of the meme, people watched it. It's kind of like The Room in that regard. You know, a bad movie that got popular because of word of mouth.
You are lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
The Room was originally this drama piece that was poorly made, and the guy just pivoted into saying, oh, it was made to be a comedy. What is Morbius? What is Morbius's legacy gonna be? Like, it feels like a joke. It feels like a comedian not knowing that the audience is laughing at him, not with him. The worst part of it is like a Photoshop of Martin Scorsese saying that this film is the shit, and Tyrese actually retweeted it, or Instagrammed it, or what the fuck ever, and thought it was real. Yeah, Tyrese is in the movie with some other policemen, and their plot is inconsequential to the whole movie. They have the subplot where they're looking for Morbius since he killed the mercenaries on the boat, right? But it doesn't really matter. Morbius can still bust out of prison anytime, and he'll have his fight with Milo. And you could have changed Tyrese and the other guy with any generic cop, and it would have been fine. That feel when the internet is mocking you in your fucking face. Oh man, that must really suck. And with that pun, guys, that's the end of the video. A huge shout out to my patrons for making this possible. M. Marcelo Oliveria, Craig Life, Chet McMasterson, Daniil Dimitriev, Delatar Teeps, Registered Good Boy, Hjortor S. Hjortorsen, Robot I, Rocky Zadok, Tad586, 21st Century Guy, and John Lemley, as well as these other wonderful warriors. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care now.